This call is now being recorded.
Okay. So let's start again. Yeah. Uh, what are we going to clear to cover today? First, we are going to cover the basics of Godot engine. Okay. Like I told in the previous session, whoever attended that session, you already know that Godot engine is an open source 2D/3D engine, and you can create good amount of games, some of the professional games using this engine. The only reason for using this engine in this session is it is very beginner friendly and it requires very less amount of hardware. Yes, you can start your Godot engine and I will show you how to create your project. Just in a second, if anyone else is joining, we will wait for just 2 minutes and on 3:30 we will start. Okay? Is everyone cool with that? Okay. Let's wait for 2 minutes. Let's see if anyone else is joining and then we will start the session. And once again, I'm very sorry, and my team is also very sorry for whatever happened. There was technical difficulty and we were having some interference in our audio, but it's done. Let's start again. Okay, I think we have waited enough. Okay, I will now show you the Godot engine, and whoever have started the Godot engine in their computer, you can follow me, and who don't have their computer with them currently, we can just see the steps and you can simply just repeat that steps after you have your computer with you. One second, let me share that screen with you. Tab, window. Okay. I hope you are seeing the screen. I shared a jam file with the meeting. Please don't put any links now. You can share them on the WhatsApp group. For now, let's just continue with it. You can see this Godot screen. And everyone, please write in the chat box so I can see it. Okay. Okay. Now let's start. This is the first screen that you will view when you start the Godot engine. Okay. I have already created multiple projects, so I have multiple icons here. But for you, it will be full fresh. Nothing will be there. So how to start a new project? Click on the new project. Okay. Just click it here, and then project file path. You can tell the path. For now, I will just create it on my desktop. Intel. Where's the desktop? Here, desktop. Create a folder, and this will be a wave shooter. So I will just write wave shooter and I will click on OK. And then select this current folder and the project name will automatically come. Whatever name you have put for your folder, it will take the name for the project name as well. You can change the name if you want, but it defaultly takes the name of your project folder. And then create and edit. Again, I will tell you, go on new project, select your directory. Then after selecting your directory, create a new folder. After creating a new folder, then create and edit. Did you get it? Please tell me in the chat if you get whatever I have told you just now. Voice not clear. If you have any audio issue, just tell me, please. Hello? Yes, clear. Okay, yes, sir. Okay. Yes. Please repeat. It's clear. Okay. I am doing. Please repeat. If you want, I can repeat it again. Go. This is the first screen you will see on the when you start the Godot. One second. Huh? Okay, huh. This is the first screen. You will see how to install Godot Engine. It's very simple. Just download it from the website and just double click it. It's only a .exe file. Nothing very special. Nothing big installation process. If you want, I can show you that too. Do people want to see the how to start the Godot engine from scratch? Just write in the chat. I will start with that if you want. No, sir. If everyone will just tell me no, sir. Okay, okay. Then we will not do that. Let's continue. Have you created your project folder? Should I show again? Have you created your project folder or should I show again? Okay, let me show you again. First, click on new project. Then select your directory as I have already created a folder in my desktop. I will just go there, desktop, and I will find my wave shooter. Then I will just select current folder. I repeat again, select current folder. After clicking the folder, you have to select current folder. This will be my project folder. The name of your folder will be automatically given to your project name. If you want to change it, you can just type something different and then create and edit. Click on create and edit and the screen will come. One second, because that project selection screen just went out now, so the sharing stopped. Let me share it again. Okay, so now you can see the interface. You can see the interface of Godot. Everyone, please tell me in the chat if you have any doubts, any issues. Just tell me in the chat so I can do something about it. Okay, I think you can see it properly. So for many of you, this will be very intimidating exactly what is happening on the screen. Let me divide it for you. Let me show you how to divide something and see it in a modular way so it will be easy to understand. Okay, let's start. Should I start? Please tell me if you are ready. I will start. Just tell me. Yes, okay. Let's start. This is your scene. What is a scene? Just think it has a separate world. This is a world. This screen, this particular screen is your world. Everything you create would be seen on this tab. This is your scene tab. Okay? You create everything on this tab. Let's go on our right side. This is inspector. On the inspector, you will see the properties of the object that you will create in the scene. Like for example, you created a player and the player has position. Obviously in a 3D space or in a 2D space, a player has a position where in particular space he or she is standing. So you will get that information over here in the inspector. Okay. I repeat again, this is the scene in which you place your objects and the information about that objects or the properties about that objects are seen on the inspector. Did everyone get that? Please tell me if you got whatever I said just now. Okay, okay. Now let's move to our left side. This is a hierarchy. Exactly what is a hierarchy? Like you seen your drive folders? Like there is one folder inside it, there is another folder inside it, there is another folder inside it, there is another folder. There is some kind of hierarchy going on. Okay, so whatever you create in this Godot engine, it also has some hierarchy. Like there is a parent and there is some child to it. And that parent and child are nothing but they are called as nodes. Nodes. Remember this. There are parents and child in a hierarchy, and those parents and childs are called as nodes. We'll create those nodes over here, and the visual representation of those nodes will be seen over here, and the properties of that nodes would be seen over here. Am I clear? Please tell me if you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, okay. Now let's continue. Okay. For this session, we will be creating a 2D game. So I will switch to the 2D. This is for the 3D. In default, it starts with 3D, but for today, we will be doing 2D. So I will click on 2D. This is 2D. Okay. Sir, while starting app, what we have to select first? While starting which app? Directly click on Godot. It will directly start and directly start creating the new project as I have shown before. Just start doing that steps. Okay, now let's continue. First, I will tell you what kind of nodes. Think the nodes has Legos, your toys. They are like your toys. You will attach those toys with one another, those Legos with one another to create something good or something functional. Nodes separately are not functional in any way. They need something to attach with each other to create something functional. When you want to create a player, you need some set amount of nodes to which are attached together and to create a player. Okay, after the nodes are created, then for controlling those nodes, to manipulate those nodes in this scene, in this world, you write the code, and that code is written in language that is known as GD script. Everyone got that? Okay. Now, let's continue. First, today I will show you how to write basic code, and then after understanding the data types and the basic code, we will start creating a basic movement script for our player. So let's start with the basic code. A hello world, if you would say. First, I will create a 2D scene. This is a node. It is written already. Node 2D. This node does nothing. It's just inside a space, and this its property is shown over here. Transform. Its position is shown over here. Its rotation is shown over here, and scale. Scale is how big it is. The scale here given is 1 by 1, so it is in 1 by 1 dimension. For example, if the node is of size 32 by 32 and the scale is 1 by 1, so it will be 32 by 32. If you put the scale here 2, then the size of it will be multiplied by 2. Okay, you got it? Are we learning GDScript from beginning? Yes, yes, I will start from the beginning. For everyone it will be good. So did you got that when you change the scale, you multiply the scale with the dimension of that object? Everyone got that? Like for example, I have an object whose size is 32. If I put the scale here 2, then the 2 will be multiplied to it, and its dimension will be 2 times its original dimension. Depending on whatever number you put here, the dimensions are increased by that multiple. Everyone got that? Let's continue. So well, let's start with the hello world project. Very basic. The scene currently is unsaved. It will tell ki this scene is not saved. So let's save the scene first. If you want, you can change the name here too. Just double click on the node and it will tell you to change its name. So I will just write hello world. This is just an hello world project. We are not writing putting any other nodes here, just an hello world. And I will create a script. To create a script, everyone see here, to create a script, there is an icon over here, plus a paper sign with plus on it, a script sign with plus on it. It is written attach new or existing script to the selected node. Please repeat. What you want to repeat? This full, what is node, or just how to put the hierarchy? Please tell me. Node, okay. So nodes are like Legos. Okay? They are Legos. Separately, they do nothing. They are just idle. But when you connect them to each other, when you create something from them, then they are in a workable condition. And to control those nodes, you write script which is in GD. GD is the language which you use to create this. Okay? Did you get it? Nodes are just like Legos. You connect them to each other to create something workable. Okay, like if you want to create a player, you connect some set amounts of nodes, some special nodes together, and then you write a code for it so you can control the player. I will show you in 15 next 15-30 minutes how to create that, but for just for this time I have just taken a node 2D. The type is also written of that node. If you just hover your mouse over the node, the type will come. The node 2D is written over there. I have directly selected it. If you want, I can show it again. I will cancel it, don't save. So when you start your project, it will be something like this. Okay, just click on 2D scene because we are creating a 2D scene. Node 2D will come. Okay, now just write anything. If you want to write, you can write anything. I just will write hello world for the name of that node. Hello world. Okay, if you did you get that? If anyone has doubts, please write here. Okay, so now I will attach a script to it. The icon is over here. Select the node and then select the script so we can attach it. Okay, I have selected it. Then here are the different languages that we can use. For now we are using GD script. In future, if you use that mono version, C# option also comes here. Many students were telling ki exactly what is that mono version. That mono version just gives an extra option to us to write in C#. Okay, now we will not touch anything over here. As in default, it is GD script, and the path for our GD file is created. Now we will just click on the create button. Again, I will show you. Select the node, select the script button, and then click on create button. Okay, Everyone got that? Tell me if you have any doubts. Okay. So I will just click on create. It will be created and the file will be shown here. See, you can see hello world.gd.
Sir,
Yes.
sir,
Ha. Tell me.
sir, in your node you have written hello world without any space. So, but in mine I have given a space. So
Yes.
does that matter?
No. It's
Can
just a
I give
name.
a
You
space
can.
between hello?
Uh, let me tell it. Let me see. See, if you write, if you put some space over here, nothing happens. You can put any name,
Okay.
whatever you want. Okay, nothing happens. It's just a name for you. The developer can give name to the node anything he likes, he or she likes. Okay, put the name if you have any name you want. Okay, I just put it like this, hello world without space. If you want, you can put space. You can even put underscore. Let's continue. Did you got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have attached the script. I have shown the process of how to attaching the script. Select the node, then select the script icon, and then the script will be attached to it. The script file will be saved here. This is the file system. Every engine has a file system. Every engine, the layout, basic layout, even in Unity, the layout is same. You have a file system, you have a properties panel where the properties of its object or nodes are shown, and this would be a hierarchy where the objects or the nodes are shown. Okay, every engine has same way of representing its features. Okay, so let's continue. I have created this. Let's write a basic hello world and just print it. So I will delete everything. We don't need this. We only need that extend node 2D. What is the meaning of extend node 2D? So for those who knows about project programming, you know about libraries, you know about class. And those who don't know about the programming, let's just assume that this is a dictionary. Assume it is a dictionary with different types of features and different types of modules. Okay, and we can use those features and modules if in this code. Extending means we are just saying ki all the features and all the modules inside this node 2D, I want to use it, so just extend it. So we are extending this node 2D class. In technical manner, we are extending this node 2D class, and in a layman's term, we are just using whatever feature node 2D has in our script. It extends node 2D class. Exactly correct. So let's continue. We will write the print hello world statement. So basic. Okay, just create a function. To create a function, write func, func, okay? Then physics process. What is the meaning of physics process? The code in the Godot engine works for per physics process process frame, physics process frame. What is a physics process frame? When you compile your code, like for example, if your code is moving from up and down, this is one physics process. When your code is compiled, one physics process is completed, and in 60 seconds how much physics process is completed depends upon how much code you have written. So to put your code in sync, everything we write is every moving code we write with it inside physics process. It is like a main function. It is just like a main function. Everything that you want to perform on runtime, you write in physics process. Okay, there is one different main function other than another main function also. It is called as process. Rather than running for physics time frame, it runs for seconds time frame. It means that for every 1 second it will run 60 times. There is a difference in it, what happens at every frame. Okay, correct. So let's continue. I will just write print and in strings double quotes hello world. That's it. That's it. You have written your hello world code. That's it. It's that simple. For those who have learned Python, there will be similarities between Python and GD script. I think you can see it. You just have to write print statement and hello world in it, and that's it. Now I will just save it. Control S to save. It will ask in what way you have to save it. You can write whatever name you want, but as I have written the parent's name, hello world, so it will tell me, do I have to save it as hello world? So yes, I will save it as hello world. And .tscn .tsecn is an extension whose full meaning is text scene, and this is just your world. It is saving in a small file. Your whole world is saved in that small file. Okay, so I am just clicking on save. My save file is generated over here. if everyone can see it properly. Okay, now we will just run it. To run, click on F5. If F5 is not working, for some computers function key doesn't work, just click on this play button. Can you see the play button over here? Just click on it. Select. It will ask if you are running this for first time, it will ask you which project file you have to run. So just navigate to the current file and it will start saving the scene and it will run. The project will start running now. Nothing will be on the screen, but look over here. Hello world is continuously printing. For every physics frame, it is printing. It will continues to print until you will stop the code. See, the file, it is continuously printing. I think 200, 300 times has already, milliseconds has already passed and it is not stopping. It will continues to print. Hello world, hello world, hello world. Farce error. What error did you have? Farce error. I think it would be some driver problem if you are having that kind of error. Some driving problem is there, because, or check for the code. If there is some typo issue, check for the code. Farce error is something with the driver's problem. Please check it. Okay. I think most of you have got similar results like hello world, those who have using the computer. Correct, Baba. So I will stop it now. This is just a hello world project. Now let's continue with the basics, like different data types and different functions. Okay, so our today's agenda, our today's main priority is to create a moving player. So what important nodes do we require? Let's study about those nodes, and after studying those nodes, we will create that player. Okay, is everyone cool with that? Let's start. Please tell me if you have any doubts, okay? Because same people are telling me, but any other person who has doubt but doesn't tell me, it just breaks the process. Sir, can you tell me once more? Which issue, in which point you have issue? Just tell me. I will clear that issue. How to save the files? Okay. So when you create the project, just after creating the project, over here, look over here, look over my mouse pointer. If there is unsaved written over here, just click on Control S. In most of the programming software, there is Control S has saving button, but just click on Control S. It will ask for the directory. Don't change any directory. Just click save and it will be saved. Is it clear? If you want, I can show it again. Let me delete this. Yeah, the file, I will just delete it. Remove. Okay. The file has been deleted. Now there is an asterisk sign over here, which means the file is not saved. Okay, I will just click on Control S and my file will be saved. See, the file is saved again. I think I have cleared it. Let's continue. Okay, so let's study about different nodes that we are going to use today. Sir, let's show them the first thing. Okay. About the attendance. So during this session, between some interval of time, I'm going to show you some images, 2 or 3 images. That's it. Okay, you just have to remember those images, and after the session is over, our team will provide you with a attendance link. Okay, just go there and put those name on that link. Okay, and it will give you the attendance. Am I clear? Please tell me in the chat, am I clear? Okay, okay. So my first image that I'm going to show, just a second, let me show that image to you. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, let me show that tab. 1 second, stop presenting. A tab session. So our first image, I think everybody can see it. Super Mario. Okay, see the name over here, see the spelling. Okay, this is our first image. Remember this image, and you will have to feed this now this name inside our form to get the attendance. There are 2 more images which will be coming in next to 50 to 30 minutes, but keep this image in your mind. Okay, let me share that screen again. 1 second, stop, share window. Okay, can you see the Godot engine screen? Can we make game like Super Mario? Yes, definitely you can make games like Super Mario. We are currently working on that kind of tutorials that we will show on YouTube rather than live streaming it. But this session are just for beginners. That's why we are taking this session, so you can have some basic information before seeing those tutorials. Am I clear? So let's start. The nodes we are going to study. If I can show you those nodes. let me delete this. Okay, let me delete this. We don't need this. We have just created basic hello world. Just click on those files. Okay, delete it. The files are deleted. 1 second. Remove to the trash. Yes. Move to the trash. Okay. Everything is empty again. There is nothing left. 1 second. Can you see the screen, or there is some error here? Hello world. Yes, sir, it's visible. Okay, 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 okay. I get it. Okay. Visible. Okay. So now let's continue. So we are going to create a player. Let me show you my this paint file so you can see exactly how to structure a node in your mind and how to create it, and what are different types of toys for you that you can play to create a node, create a player or a moving object. 1 second, let me show that paint to you. Start, open a tab. Sir, another app starts when I run the script. Yes, yes, when you run the script, a new icon, a new program starts because it is in a separate extension. That's why a new program starts. But you will just see a blank screen, nothing there. You can see on the console the statements will be printing. If you have followed until now, you will see on the console the statements would be printed. Share. Is the paint available? Paint for screen visible to you? Okay, 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 okay. So let's draw our first nodes structure. So let's start. This will be our base, our parent, and the with the node that will be used to create our player is called as kinematic body 2D. Now, what is kinematic body 2D? You can go in details of it, but for basics, it's just a node that has ability to move the object on the screen with respect to collisions. With respect to, I can't see the screen. I think it is visible. Please check it again. Screen. Yes. Please check it again. I think it is visible for most of them. Yes. Okay, okay, okay. Kinematic body is a node. First of all, have you gotten the concept of what is node? Node are just building blocks that you connect together to create something visually representable, something workable, and something with some features in it. You just connect it together, okay? So our first node, our first actual functioning node, the previous node which you have seen node 2D, it's just a wrapper. We don't use it for any functionality. It's just there like in HTML. Let me give you example of HTML. For most of you, it will be in your mind. There is a div tag. There is a div tag, div tag. It doesn't have features. It's there, just there to wrap up most of the nodes in it. Similarly, node 2D is also just a wrapper node. You just have to put most of the nodes in it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. So kinematic body, the node, it is used to create moving objects with respect to collision. So what is collision with respect to collision? Like, see, this is your player. It is moving. Okay. But if you are not using kinematic body, so for example, there is some obstacle over here. It will just overlap the obstacle. It will just pass through it. It will just pass through it. We don't want that. We want our object to collide with it and react. If you want to have physics on it, rather than using kinematic body, you can use one more node which is used for movement of script, but with more physics in it. It is called as rigid body 2D. Some of you who have used Unity will know this one, rigid body. But kinematic body is used for simple movements and just detecting collisions. rigid body is used for simple movements with physics and collision, and kinematic body is used for simple movement with only collision, no physics. You don't have physics in kinematic body, and most of the time for my games I use kinematic body because I like to control the physics, because I don't need that some external physical values are exerted over my character. I just want to simulate over my time. In rigid body, there are many different types of variables that you have to control, and sometimes it gets very complex. But this node is actually very good for physics based games. There are many physics based games like shooting, bouncing, and there are different types of games in which you need physics. So for that you can use this. What is different with rigid body? Gravity. Exactly, there is gravity in it. Friction gravity, friction, then velocity, acceleration, linear velocity. There are different variables in rigid body that are based on real physics, real world physics. Screen is blank after I run. Am I doing it right? Yes, you are doing it right, because we have not shown anything on the screen. Just look at your console. Look at your console. On the bottom of your Godot engine, there will be debug written over there. There will be an output tab on it. Just look at there. You will see your hello world. Okay. So let's continue. Let me repeat it again. Kinematic body is used for moving an object. Kinematic body is used for moving an object with respect to collision, but no external physics is applied. Okay. In the case of rigid body, it is also used for moving an object, but in respect to collision, but with external physics applied. Okay. So in this session, we are not going to use rigid body as it is out of our scope, and we have to write many things for it. I am just removing it. For now, we will use only the kinematic body. So kinematic body is been created. Now next step. So kinematic body will ask you, like, you have created me, but I don't have any collision or bounce to me. So how can I detect collision of the world? So next node that we will create to detect the collision will be called as collision shape 2D. Collision shape 2D. Hitbox. Exactly. Hitbox. Collision shape 2D. Okay. So collision shape 2D, from the name it implies that it is used for collision, and you can specify its shape, and it is in 2D dimensions. It is in 2D dimensions, and you can specify its shape, and it is used for collision. These two nodes work together to simulate the collision with other objects and movement. Okay. You have to use this together to create that functionality of moving an object and simultaneously detecting the collision. If you just use kinematic body, the collisions would not be detected, and your body will overlap with the obstacles. Am I clear? Please tell me in the chat, am I clear? If you have any doubts, just ask me, because this is basic and you have to clear it. Okay. Okay. Any other person? More similar faces are telling me. Any other one who have doubts, or am I clear? Okay. So let's continue. We have created the kinematic body. We have given the collision to it. Now what is left? Okay. So you have created your kinematic body, you have given it collision, but nothing is seen on the screen at that time, because there is nothing on the screen, nothing visually on the screen. Nothing visually of that. You will see the collision shape 2D, but it will be only visible in the editor. Only visible in the editor. When you run the game, everything will be invisible to you, because collisions are not seen during when the game is played. You never see hitboxes of players when you play the game. You only see them during debugging and in the editor. Okay. So for visual representation, we will also create another node. This is next node, which will be inside kinematic body. And let me change the color. Let's give it a blue. Okay. Yeah. Sprite 2D. Sprite 2D. Sprite 2D, in gaming terms, sprite means textures that are used for creating animations. In previous session, somebody asked me, are we going to create animations of pixel art? That is, we are going to do in our 5th or 6th session. But for just now, for this session, we have been provided by Godot a simple basic PNG that we are going to use. This is used for giving textures to our node. This whole structure should be visually represented on our screen. For that, we use Sprite 2D so that we can see something on our screen. Am I clear? Did you get it? Did you get these three nodes? Okay. Kinematic body is a node that is used for movement of an object with respect to collisions, but no external physics is applied. You can code physics if you want, but no external physics is applied. Explained second node. Yes, I am going to that. Collision shape 2D is used for giving collisions to nodes such as kinematic body, rigid body, area 2D. It is a subset node. It does not exist by its just itself. If you write collision 2D and it is not child of some other node, then it will not do anything. It will be just there, and sometimes it will give you an error. Okay, so collision shape 2D should be a child of some physics based node or some collision based node. Collision based nodes such as kinematic body, physics based nodes such as rigid body. Am I clear? And then finally, sprite 2D. This is just for used for giving textures to the objects or entities on the screen. It is used for giving textures to the objects or entities on the screen. Something that can be visually represented on the screen. So I think I have created this analogy of the nodes. Now let's see data types. This is for programming basics. So when you write something, when you write code, the data is in different types. I will not go inside how many bits or that sometimes gets confusing. For just for basics, four basic data types are there. There are some more, but for this video there are four. One is integer, basic numbers without decimal. Then float are numbers with decimal. Okay. Then string, anything which is written in double quotes, like the hello world which we have written in our print statement, that is a string. Print statement requires a string data type. See, if there is, when you will write print statement, there will be a subtext in the bottom which says that please put a string in it, which it is asking a string data type to be fed so that it can give certain output. Okay, am I clear? Please tell me in the chat if you get it. Okay, then finally vectors. Now this is a beast which will be required in most of the programming. Vector 2 are the data type that stores different things depending on what which context you are using it. Vector 2s for basic stores x coordinate and y coordinate. Vector 2 basically stores x coordinate and y coordinate. This is the coordinate system of our Godot. It is inverse in the sense, like for when you have studied in the school that you have a graph which has y axis, but in Godot the y axis is inverted, like minus y is up and plus y is down. And if you ask me why it is that, I don't have actual answer for it. I think that developers were having fun and they just inverted the axis. That will be the main reason for it, because nothing performance based reason or code based reason is there to invert the axis. The question was asked to the developers so for why they have done this, but they have told that they are following different game engine norms, so they just have inverted this y-axis so that people can remember the axis. For the Godot engine, the y-axis is inverted. I repeat again, many of you will have errors because of this. This axis is inverted, and you in your mind you will think that it is positive for up and negative for down, but in actual reasons the positive is at the bottom and negative is up. And for x-axis nothing changes, it's just positive x and negative x. This is the number line. When you put one more number line, then it becomes a graph and the points are plotted on it. And to write both the points together, we use vector 2. See, -3 and 3. 3 on the x-axis and -3 on the y-axis. This is how the vector is written, and in the Godot's term, it is written in vector 2 and the values are written inside it. Am I clear? Please, because this is the basic and it should be cleared. Am I clear? Please tell me. Yeah. Okay. So we will stop here and we will now just go on the Godot editor and we will create our movement script. Let me show you the image, the second image, so that you can remember it, and remember the first image. Now also remember the second one, and after the session is complete, I will show you the final image, and you have to remember and write it in our form. Let me show you that image too. 1 second. Huh? Our next image is 1 second. Is it visible? Soul Knight. This is a very interesting game and I would recommend you. It is for Android 2. You can go and play it. Soul Knight. Remember this, okay? Soul Knight. This is the second image. Now let's go to the editor and we will create our first movement script and we will wrap up after that. Please tell me if the screen is visible or not. Yes, let's continue. So first we will create a kinematic body so that we can provide movements. Okay, with let's add there is a plus sign over here on the upper left corner. Add child nodes. Can you see it? Please check if the screen is visible. Okay, see, up on the left side there would be a plus sign. Just click on it, or if you like shortcut keys, control A shortcut keys. Okay, write kinematic body, not the red one is for 3D. We will be using blue one, which is for 2D. Kinematic body 2D. Press enter. It will have an exclamation sign because we have not provided collision 2D to it. See, the node has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. Consider adding a collision shape 2D or collision polygon 2D. They are both same, but the only difference is that in collision polygon 2D, you can create more shapes rather than some basic square or circle. You can create shapes depending on your needs. Okay, has a child to it so that you can define its shape. Basically, it is telling key, please add collision shape 2D to it so that it can interact with the world's collision. Am I clear? Let's continue. So I will just rename it because I like to rename my nodes player. Okay. Now let's add collision shape 2D. Collision shape 2D. See, it is there. Just press enter. The collision shape 2D will come. Now again, it's showing an exclamation mark. Why? See, the shape must be provided for collision shape 2D to function. Please create a shape source for it. It doesn't, this is not telling to create another node, but it's just telling us to create a source. So how should we create a source? There is a property panel over here. I have told you in previous time that the property panel consists of all the abilities and features of that node. See, for this kinematic body, collision, motion, pickables, collision layers, these are its properties that would be used. Okay, and for collision shape 2D, because we have to provide it shape, it has a property called as shape. Okay, and these properties can be accessed from code 2. Remember, you have to when you are consistently using same types of nodes, you will have a habit. To learn this, because it will be very necessary when you are creating some complex project. You have to remember the properties too, because coming back, looking at the properties, then going back in the script and writing that, it is very, sometimes it gets hectic. So if it is important for you, just remember it. We will just create a shape. Circle shape is good for now. See, the shape has been created. You can clicking on this dot, you can minimize and maximize it to the any shape any size you want. Just don't go and this transform and scale. This is not the correct way. Don't scale it. We are not scaling it. We are just increasing its actual size. We are not scaling the dimensions of it. Okay, because if you scale it, the error will be there because it will not simulate the collision properly. Don't scale it. Okay, many beginners do this. They just scale it from here rather than going here and resizing it, because when you do that, you will get some errors when you are actually having some fast paced movement or fast paced collision detection. So the final node is sprite 2D. Sprite 2D. It can be child of collision 2D if you want, but I will just make it the child of player. And to select the parent, you just have to click on the parent and then control A for adding the child. Okay. So for now, I will make player the parent, control A to add the child or the node, and I will write sprite 2D. Where is sprite 2D? Okay, here. Sprite. Okay. In the properties panel, there is a tab called as texture, and it requires a PNG or any image based sources. So we have been provided by Godot a texture, icon.png. For most of the prototype, this is, sir, I can get it to add collision shape 3D. How to add sprite 2D? Sir, please repeat once from kinematic body creation. It's a bit confusing. Okay. Let's start it again. I am deleting it. Okay, I am deleting it. Is it visible? Let's start again. Okay, please keep attention over here. Control A, shortcut key is Control A, and if you are not using shortcut key, there is a plus sign on the left side, upper left side. Can you see it? Can you see this? Please write in the chat if you can see this. Okay, now I will add. Okay, I will click on this plus sign. This tab will open. Okay, now I just have to write kinematic body. Can you see the kinematic body? There are two kinematic bodies over here. We don't have to select the red one because it is for 3D. Select the blue one. Kinematic body 2D. Press enter. Kinematic body will appear. Did you get this step? Any doubts, please tell me. Okay, did you get this step? Okay, let's continue. First, I will rename it player. Okay, now I will add another child to it, another node to it, because this becomes a parent. The upmost node on the hierarchy is the parent. Remember this. The upmost node, this is the parent, and the under it, all the nodes will be the child of this. Okay. The hierarchy goes on. There will be a child to a child to a child to a child. It is like a tree structure, if you will. Now let's again continue with same step. Click on this add button. First select the parent. Select the parent. Then click on the add button. And if you want, you can use shortcut key. I am using the shortcut key Control A and collision shape 2D. Collision shape 2D. I have added collision shape 2D. Is this clear? Is this clear? Okay. Let's continue. So now the collision shape 2D has been added, but there is no collision over on the screen. On the editor, the collision shape will be visible on the editor. So to make the shape, there is a property on the properties panel, shape. You can see it over here. It will be the first property. Now just go there or click on that arrow button. It will be on the extreme right of that shape. Click on that. And then you can select any shape you want, Okay, so I am just going with circle because it covers all the sides properly. And I will zoom it. You can zoom with the mouse key, mouse wheel. Now after zooming it, I will click on this orange colored dot. I think it is visible. And I will just drag to any size I want. Is this clear? Please tell me if it's not clear to you. Okay. Clear. Okay, let's continue. Now, finally, the shape has been created, kinematic body has been set, but there is no visual representation of our node. There is nothing there on the screen. If you will run this, nothing will be shown on the screen. So let's put a visual representation. I will select the parent, whichever parent I want to make this time, but I want to make my player has a parent. So I will select it, Control A or the plus sign. And I will now search for sprite. Okay, sprite is there. Sir, how that circle got? 1 second. Okay, go on the see, you have this collision shape 2D. Click on it. On the properties tab, there is a shape property. Just click on the arrow key on the right side and just select it. Am I clear? How to remove the exclamation mark besides collision shape 2D, and exclamation mark on the collision shape 2D will on the kinematic body 2D will be removed when you add collision to it. Collision shape 2D to it. It should be child. It should be child of kinematic body. See how it is over here. One at the bottom. Not say they are not in the same. They are not standing in the same way. They are like one at the bottom. If you can see it. Then after this, you when the shape is given, now let's add sprite. Control A, sprite, SPRITE. Okay. How to increase the circle? Just click on that arrow. You click on the circle, and then there would be a dot here over here. I think it is visible. Just click on that dot and drag it. Drag it. See, I am dragging it, and the circle is increasing and decreasing. Okay. Let's continue. Now I will start with writing the script. Please keep okay. So let's add the script. As I told before, you have to add the script. Just click on that paper and green color plus sign. It is just above our hierarchy. Just click on it. The resource will be created. Whatever your parent's name would be, it will be given to the script. If you want, you can change it, but I will leave it as it is. And I will just create it. Now this is created. This time it extends kinematic body because our parent was kinematic body and we want to use all the features and modules of our kinematic body. So it extends kinematic body. I think this was clear, but I am telling it again so that you remember it. Okay. Should I continue? Everyone is okay with whatever I have told just now? Okay, okay, okay. Let's continue. Okay. So this is the programming part. And I think for many of you it would be confusing. For some of you it will not be confusing because can't see your screen. I think sir, yes, yes. Prop properties. There will be a property. There will be a property. I think my net stuck. One second. Give me one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay. Voice is cracking. Okay. Is my voice clear now? Can you see the screen properly? Please tell me. Better. Sometimes there is an interference over here, but let's continue. So click on the sprite because we want to change the property of the sprite. Click on the sprite. Now there will be on the properties panel, there will be a texture property. Look over here. There will be a texture property. You don't have to click on this arrow because it's not necessary. We can just drag and drop from here. Now go to a file system. Godot has provided us with icon.png, and for most of the proper prototyping of games I use just this icon for even for bullets and enemies too. But if you want, you can change the sprite in the future, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But for now, just use this icon. Okay, so just drag it. See, I'm dragging it. Don't place it here. Don't place it here because it will create another sprite. Just drag it and put it inside that empty column. I repeat again, drag it from here. Don't place it here because it will create a separate sprite other than this. Just drag it and put it inside the texture column. Am I clear? I am just putting it there. See, the texture is over here. But see, the collision shape is behind. See, it's behind. You cannot see it properly. Okay, so what you have to do, just go here, drag your collision and put it on the bottom side of the sprite. It's not the child of sprite, it's just that the configuration is sprite first, then collision second, so that collision can come before the sprite. Okay, have you seen this properly? Should I continue? Tell me. Okay, now that let's make the shape proper. I will make the shape proper. See, the shape is been done. Now let's continue with the script. This is the script. Okay, it extends kinematic body. It will use all the features and modules given by kinematic body. This features and modules, where was it written? The developers have written those features and modules in C++, and they have compiled us for us so that we can directly use them instead of writing it in C++. Sir, please repeat from that phase how to provide proper shape. Proper shape for collision. You just have to go on the shape tab, which is great. Or do you just have to go on the shape tab and select the shape? And once the shape has been selected, how to put collision down. Okay, okay. See, look over here. Let me show it to you again. First, let me reset it. Let me put that collision up. See, the shape is not there. You cannot see the shape. It's behind, but you want to see it. So how would you see it? Okay, just go here. Just go here, click it, don't leave it, just drag it to the bottom side. Just drag it to the bottom side. See, when you drag it to the bottom side, a blue line will be created to the bottom of that sprite. This blue line should be there, not the full this box should not be there, line should be there. Okay, so there would be a blue line, box should not be there. Okay, and just drag and drop it there. It will come at the bottom side. You have to do it properly. Then see if you have to do it properly. Just go, click on it and drag it at the bottom side. See, I am doing it here. I am clicking on it, dragging it on the bottom side and just leaving over there. So, see again. Try it again, try it again. If it's not happening, try it again. Just click on it, drag it to the bottom side. When the blue lines come, leave it. You have to practice it because it becomes very fast when you once you know how to do it. Many times this happens like the collision shape is not visible or the something goes behind something and you have to see it for the time being because we can change the z index. You know the z index for it's a layer, how the layers are seen, but collision shape is not visible. Sir, how can we get sprites? Okay, you want to see how the texture has been given or does sprite node? Okay, click on player because it will be our parent, then control a or the plus sign, control or the plus sign. It will be similar, it will be same for every single node. Same procedure, you just have to select the parent, then you have to click on this plus sign or control a, then search for the node that you want. What will happen if I write sprite and then collision shape? Nothing happens. Just remember that the collision shape is the child of kinematic body, not the sprite. Because if that happens, then there will be error. Just remember that collision shape should be the child of kinematic body. You can put it in any configuration. Just remember how the child and parent relationship is there. Okay. Just search for the sprite and just then click create, and it will be added in the hierarchy. Am I clear? Please tell me if there you have any doubts so we can proceed to the coding part. Should I proceed to the coding part now? Okay, okay, okay. Before that, see when you code this, okay, and when you save this, uh, please, after the session is completed, just go over here, manage export templates, go in editor. About this editor option is there, go in editor, manage export templates. You should have internet connection. Okay, I'm doing this because I want that you can export .exe files if you create games and if you want to share it to your friends. You should have that .exe file to give to your friends. So for that you have to download the export templates. Go here because I have already downloaded it. It's giving me that re-download option for you. It will be just download and then select the 3.3 stable version, or if you have the updated version, and just download it. It will be around 200 MB or something, or 200 MB, 300 MB. The export templates, if you want, you can download it. If you don't want to export now, you can leave it. But for those who wants to export in .exe format, you have to download. Sir, can you show me the template again? Yes, yes. Go in the editor. See, there is editor above here. Where to download export? Go in the editor. See up. Click on it. See, I clicked. At the bottom, manage export template is there is an option. Click on it. See, this page will open. This tab will open. There will be an option because I have already downloaded it. I am getting the option of re-download, but you will get the option of just download. So just download it. Okay. I have also downloaded previous version. See, 3.2, 3.3, 3.3 stable current version and 3 point stable mono version. I'm also writing codes in C sharp, so I also downloaded it for mono. But you just have to download it for 3.3 stable. Okay, that's it. Am I clear with it? Okay, now after this tangent, let's continue with our code. Don't download it now. The download will stall and you cannot use your editor. Okay, don't download it now. After this session is completed, when you are free and you have proper internet connection, then download it. Okay, and see that wherever you are downloaded, you have some space because it requires 2 to 300 MB. Okay, let's continue. So we will create our first code, our first basic movement, and I think it's 4:30 now. So let me show you the last image first, and then we will continue. The last image is Dead Cells. This is also a very great game. Okay, I hope you have remembered the first two names, Mario, Super Mario, Soul Knight, and then finally the Dead Cells. Did you get it? Everyone? Is this visible? Okay, okay. Let's continue with our code and then we will wrap it up. Okay, yeah. So every programming language requires some variables, variables to use in the code. It requires some variables to use in the code. If you are not defining variable and you are writing say different variable names in the code every different time, the code becomes very junky and not very proficient. So let's start with variables. What are variables? If the ones who don't know about programming, variables are just you can think of it as some temporary memory or temporary box in which you put something for the time being. Once you have used it, you just remove it from it and delete everything. Okay, for the time being, it is just a box in which you put something. A variable can be of different data types. As I have already shown you, it can be of integer data type, it can be of float data type, it can be of string data type, or it can be of vector data type. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Please repeat the names. Okay, integer, float, string, vector 2. These are the names. If you want, you can take a screenshot, but we will provide you this in the PDF after the session. Don't worry about it. We will provide all the materials. I have also completed the game and I will also provide it after the session. You can play with it if you want, and you can figure out the code. You can fidget with it if you want. Okay, let's continue. So let's create some variables. First, let's imagine our player. It's moving in a 2D space. Sir, the image's name. I have already told those names. You are new to this, you were not in the session or you just joined? Let me show you again. For this, see, dead cells. This is the name of the last image. This is the name of the last image. Okay. Then this, Soul Knight and Super Mario. Okay. Let's continue. Var. To create a variable, you have to write var. Okay. Var means variable in short form. Now it's giving an error, unexpected an identifier or a member of variable name. It's just telling me here, please give some name to this variable. Sir, for coding part, we have where we have to navigate. Okay. When you create this, when you add the script, you just have to, it is very simple. Just click here, just add it. Automatically this will be opened. But if it's not opening, click on wherever you have added the script, that's just click on that page sign. It will open again. Am I clear? Anyone have problems from opening their script? Should I continue? Please tell me. Oh, no, sir. No. Okay. Let's create the variable, shall we? So let's first imagine how our player's variables will work. So our player is moving. Okay. It should have a velocity, and where it's moving, it should have a direction. So two variables, velocity, direction, and there should be some speed to it. Some speed is required for moving. So it should also have speed. So three variables for now. Let's start with speed. I will write speed. Okay, I have written speed. If you want, you can tell the type too. Just write this double quotes. See, double dots are there na? On besides L key, there will be this. Just press shift and this double dots. I forgot what it is told. Double column or semicolon, but this double dots are there. So speed plus direction is velocity. Yes. You will see it. See. Can you see it properly? Okay. But you can define that type, but I think when you are writing very big codes, then you can define that type. For just time being, we will not define anything. We'll just directly give it. We will just directly initialize it with some value. So for speed, we'll give it 200. There will be 200 speed to it. 200 units. Nothing behind. Nothing kilometers per second. Nothing behind. Just 200 units. Okay. Enter. Next variable. Velocity. Now let me explain what in the initial value I will give to it. You can see this axis. Okay. Negative y, positive x, negative x. It will move in all those four directions. Okay. It will move in all those four directions. 1 second. I think there are some interference going on. Just a second. I think this interference will go. Just a second. Okay, okay. Let's continue. Now, velocity, we have to calculate velocity in both the axes. So I have already told you when we deal with axis, which type of data type we require. Can anyone answer me which type of data type we require when we deal with x-axis, y-axis? If you have seen, oh, vector. Anyone else? Vectors. Specifically vector 2 because x and y. There is vector 3 also for 3 axis x, y, and z. But for now, vector 2. So we will write vector 2. Write vector 2. Okay. And again, the error is there because we have not given it the value. For initial value, we will just write vector 2 dot 0, which means 0 on both axes. Okay. 0 on both axes. Similarly, for direction, var direction dot vector 2, because directions, we will also give directions in all both the axes. Okay, negative and positive sides too. So this is clear. So let me explain you the theoretical part of the code, then we will write the code. I have just assigned the variables and initialized them, but let me explain you what is the theory behind it. Let's go down. So this is your player. Okay, it will move in some direction. Which will be calculated using velocity. But for calculating the velocity, we require two things. First, the speed and the direction, on which direction it will move. Okay, so how to calculate direction? Okay, so for example, if it's moving in on this side, the arrow is pointing, so I think it's moving in x-axis. Okay, so sir, it is giving error. Where you are getting error? I am not getting error. See, look properly, your code and my code, and I think there should be some typo mistake or something. Plus check it properly. If anyone is getting error in your code, please check here. And if you are getting this exclamation mark, don't bother with it. It just gives you suggestions. Okay, don't bother with. I think the problem has been sorted. Let's continue. So yeah, this is your player. It's moving in some direction in the space, and the space, it is calculated using velocity. So for example, it's moving in the x-axis direction. Okay, so how will be, in vector form it is written, it is moving in x-axis, so direction will be written like this: x plus 1 because positive side of x, and y equals 0 because on y-axis doesn't move, it's just moving in x-axis. So this is how direction will be written. Direction will be written like this. Okay, v means vector for now. V means vector. Direction would be written like this. So we got one of the very important variable that we require to calculate the velocity. Okay, now the next variable is speed. You just have to multiply the speed. You just have to multiply the speed with it. Just have to multiply the speed with the direction to get the actual velocity. Because direction is given in terms of zeros and ones. If it's moving in x-axis, so it will give 1 to the x coordinate and 0 to the y coordinate. If it's moving in both x coordinate and y coordinate, depending on which way it's moving, if it's moving up and sideways, it will give. While dragging texture, we have to select. One second. Click on the sprite, just drag your texture and put it inside this texture property. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so where was I? Yes, so for velocity, you need direction and speed. The direction will be calculated in terms of zeros and ones. That's it. We will not have any other numbers, only zeros and ones. So we cannot move our player in terms of zeros and one. It will be movement will be very minuscule. We need something, some multiple to it, so that it can, there will be some significant movement. So we multiply it by speed. Okay, so velocity will be calculated using direction and speed. Direction are calculated in terms of zeros and ones. We will get zeros and ones, and to get some good amount of movement, we will just multiply it by the speed. Okay, the velocity is calculated in this way. Is clear? Is it clear? And don't think it has real world physics. Okay, don't think this formula has real world physics. There will be some different formula for velocity in real world physics, but it is just written this way in the game code. Okay, am I clear? Anyone has doubts, please tell me. Okay, should I continue? Please write in the chat box. What, sir? What is G? Okay, हाँ, GSLV3 and GLES2. GSLE3 and GSES3 is not, 2 is nothing but OpenGL3 and OpenGL2. OpenGL2 was a driver which was used in previous like 2015, 2007, 2000 from 2007 to 2015 computers, that those drivers were used to create the games. And GSLV3, OpenGL3 is used now. And there is one also Vulkan renderer. This is nothing but renderer which you are using currently. Go with GLES3 for now, because we will be using it compatible with all the devices, because OpenGL is compatible with most of the devices. In future, Godot is working on Vulkan renderer and it will give more performance in 3D. So please wait for that. And I think it will be released in end of this year or in the mid of next year. You can keep updated yourself by visiting the site of Godot engine. Okay, let's continue with the code. So first, to run the code, we will create the main function. Physics process and process are two main functions, but we will use this because it syncs depending on how your code works, and process doesn't sync, it just directly moves 60 seconds, 60 milliseconds. It is also good, but most of the time use this one. Okay, if it is required to use process, if you are using some high calculative task, then use that process, because it goes 60 times, and this doesn't go 60 times, it goes for 30 or sometimes less depending on how much process you are using. This is good, and that is for high calculative tasks, process one. Okay, so let's go with this physics process now. We have to calculate the directions. So if most of you know how to write if else statement, I think so, let's write if else statement. If input, as the name implies, if we are inputting something, input dot is action just pressed, it means that if we are clicking some key just now, so what will happen? If we have if we are clicking up direction, we have to move up, so we will define it now. So UI up, see, write UI up in double quotes, it requires a string data type to it. Okay, is it clear to all? Have you written this? Then put double quotes and press enter. Then put double quotes and press enter. If it is not visible properly, let me increase the size. Now I think it's visible. Okay. So if input dot is action pressed up, what we have to do? Direction. And if we are pressing up, that means, sir, is GD script case sensitive? No, I don't think so. Because uppercase and lowercase both are different. So if we are writing like this, it won't give error. They're different. Okay, I think the doubt is clear. Let's continue. Direction, because up means in y direction, and in the terms of Godot, y direction is negative, so we will write like this: make direction -1. Is it clear? Make direction dot y -1. It means that the vector, the y axis, the vector to's y coordinate should be -1. Is it clear? Where direction vector's y coordinate should be -1. Let's continue with else if input dot is action pressed UI down means positive on y axis, so direction dot y equals +1 or just 1. Okay, now else if input dot is action pressed left means negative on the x axis, so direction dot x equals -1. And finally, else if input dot is action pressed UI right, direction dot x equals 1. I think just copy it if you want. I will wait. Just copy this. Okay. Is everyone copied it? Should I wait more or should I continue? Please tell me. Huh? Okay. Okay. So now we have told what direction different coordinates would be depending on what key we have pressed. So if we leave the key, if we release the key, it should default to 0. It should again default to 0 because we have to stop. We don't have to continue moving. So we can also write here if more else if statements, but it will make the code more lengthy. Just so to stop it, we can just directly write here direction equals vector 2 dot 0, which means if we are not pressing any of the key, on default it will be 0 0. Am I clear? Am I clear? Let's continue. Now, this is important because if we don't write this, when you are moving on diagonal, when you are not moving like up and down, when we are moving diagonal means we are clicking two keys together, you will move faster if we are not writing this line. So we have to write this line. Direction equals direction dot normalized. It means if the value is greater than 1, it will bring it to 1 because we have to keep the direction between 0 and 1. If the value becomes by chance during the calculation, if it becomes greater than 1, it will bring it to 1. Okay? It will normalize it. In layman term, it will normalize it. Okay? After we have written this, finally we will write velocity. Velocity equals linear interpolation. Now, what is this linear interpolation? You will ask. It just means that put one value, bring one value to the another value. Means let me show you here. For example, if the value of one object is, where is this text font? If the value is 3 and we want it to bring to 10, okay, it makes it, if we want it to make 10, okay, it directly will not directly go to 10. It will go like this. It will go to 4, then it will go to 5, then it will go to 6. Like this it will go to 10. When you are using linear interpolation, it linearly moves towards the final value. It does not directly teleport towards it. Okay, it does not directly change to 10. It linearly moves towards it, and it's very smooth to see. It is very nice, and you don't see jagginess. Okay, so that's why we are using linear interpolation. We can write directly direction into speed, but we will use this. Okay, so what we have, it will ask to a certain parameter. So let's put the parameter. First is from variant. So it is asking which value you have to change. It is asking which value. So we have to change velocity. Okay, to which value we want to change. So if velocity is 0 and we want it to go to 200, I don't want it to directly change to 200. I want it to go smoothly to 200. So I will write direction because we want the velocity to be equal to direction multiplied by speed. Okay, multiply by speed. Let me make it little bit smaller. Okay. Now the last one. Wait. It voice is breaking. Am I audible? Please tell me, am I audible? Is there any audio issue? If there is some audio issue now, no, sir. Okay. Let's continue. See, the last parameter, the first parameter is what value you want to change. So we want to change velocity to which value you want to change it. So if we don't write it like this, if we write it directly like this, velocity equals direction into speed. So what we are doing here, we just are changing velocity to direction into speed. Is it clear to everyone? We want velocity equal to direction into speed. But I don't want some jagginess in my code during the runtime. So I want it smoothly go depending on the physics frame. So I will write it in this way. Linear interpolation. First, what we want to change? We want to change velocity to what? We want it to change to direction into speed. Okay, and how much time you want it to take to move to direction to speeds. For example, if you want to take 1 second, 2 second, you can write it, but rather than writing that, you write delta. What is delta? Let me explain. Delta is There it, I will change it, test, I will change and test later. Okay, okay, no problem, no problem. You can change and test later. I don't think there will be some high difference between this and that line, but for future we will write in this way because it is very less probability of breaking the code. This type of writing has very less probability of breaking the code, and it is in sync with your FPS. Like you have 60 FPS, this line of code will be in sync to it. It will not move faster depending. There was a game Fallout 4. I don't know many of you have played it, but depending on your FPS, if your FPS is 120, the speed of your player would also increase, and that is not good. Developers want that your character should move in certain limit. It should not move like flash to infinite speed. So that is why to limit the speed we will use this line. Okay. So this ler function requires what value you want to change, to what value you have to change, and how much time you want. So we will write delta because we want it to be in sync with the FPS, and some certain number. That as the number increases, it will stop faster. If you write some lower number, it will slide. It will slide. Let me write a lower number, and you will see it. Okay. Let me write 0.5 to show you properly. Now after this, the code has been completed. We just have to write one function, one kinematic body function. This it has some one function which will put everything in sync with the other collisions. Okay. So let me write it. Move and slide. Just you write move and the option will come. Okay, move and slide, and we will just it asks for linear velocity, and we have already created the velocity. So just put it inside it. Okay. Your movement script is completed. If you want, I will make it a little bit smaller so you can see it properly. 1 second. See, your movement script is completed. This is your basic movement script. If you want, you can write it on your computer now, or I will also put the screenshot. Let me take the screenshot. If you want, I can give it to you in PDF. 1 second. Okay, let's continue. So I have written move and slide. Move and slide is nothing but a function provided by kinematic body to us so that we can use it to keep our movement in sync with the collisions. So let's save this. So it will ask save it as player. Yes, we want to save it as player. Our player scene has been saved. If we want to run it, we can just run it. It will tell us which scene you want to select. Select the player's scene, and it will start. Let me let me see if it is visible to you. Ah, yes, it's visible. See, it's moving. It is moving very slowly, smoothly because I have written very less value. I have already told you that depending on what value you put inside delta, it will move like this. Now the movement here is like it is skiing on ice. Let me increase the value over there because if the values are lower, the movement is very slippery. So let me put something like 30 over here, and also increase the speed to 400. I think this would be very nice. And let's run it again. F5 on the function key, and if your function key is not working, just click here, arrow sign, play sign. Okay. Okay, now this is good. This is good. See, it works. This is the basic movement code. Okay. After this movement script is completed, tomorrow in next session we will learn about camera, and we will also create bullets to our player, and after that we will also create enemy AI. For now, I think I should wrap it up. I have given you all the images, and I will not show it again because you have to remember it. If you are not remembering it, just watch this session. We will provide you recording, and I think it's completed. Okay. And thank you everyone for attending the session. And
Sir,
huh? Yes.
sir, when I press two keys together, it doesn't go diagonally. So do that.
It doesn't move diagonally.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Because I have written else if statement over there. That is why it doesn't move diagonally. When you write this type of code,
Okay, so
and you
should I just
provide,
write if statement?
you can write directly if statement. Let me write it. Let me 1 second. Let me change to if statement. If you change it to if statement, see it moves diagonally too.
Yeah, sir.
That's it. Okay. Everything is clear to
Thank you, sir.
everybody. Please,
Thank you, sir.
no problem, no problem. Please tell me in the chat box, is it clear? Then after, sir, are you using keys to move a player? Yes, I am using the arrow keys. There are arrow keys on your computer that I am using to move the player. Yes, sir, clear. Okay. Anyone else have doubts? Because I think it's 1 hour 30. We have cleared this session in 1 hour 30 minutes. Please tell me if you have doubts. Okay, I will wait for 5 minutes, and after that I will wrap this up. Okay. So no doubts, no doubts. So it's mapped in arrow key. Yes, it's mapped in arrow key, and in next session I will also tell you how to put your custom keys. So if you want WSD, how to put that. Heck, let's do it now. Let's do it now. See, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible? Let's
Yes,
continue.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, there is a project button on the top. Can you see it? Click on the project button. Click on project settings. This tab will open. Just go on, sir. 1 second. Run the code. 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me show how to map the input. Then I will just show the code running. Okay. Now go on. First, go on project settings. Okay. Now click on this input on the neighbor of the general. There will be an input map button. Just click on it. See. Input map. Here you can map Xbox, PSP, and any other key icons, buttons you want. But for now, let's focus on WSD. Okay. So I used UI up, UI down, UI left, and UI right. Let's find it. See, there is UI left. So I just want to add an extra key. Click on key. Which key for left? A. I want A key. Okay. Is it clear? Just click on the button you want to change the key. Okay. And for UI right, I want D. For up, W. Okay. And finally for down, I want S. It has been mapped. You don't have to code it again. It is directly mapped to UI up down, and we have already written it inside the code. See. UI up, UI down, UI left, UI right. You don't have to write some another key, another custom key. We directly mapped it to our default keys. And now when I run it, for running it, you have to click over here. You have to click over here. Okay. And 1 minute, somebody had doubt of the code. What doubt you had? Sir, 1 second, run the code. See, I'm moving it. I'm moving it with WSD now, not with the arrows keys. I'm moving it with WSD. Is it clear to everybody? Yes. Okay. Now let's wrap it up. For now. And the next session would be on next week. And I think we will put the session on Meet because there are some issues with YouTube streaming. We want it for YouTube streaming because the content is directly saved on YouTube and anyone can directly go there. And we are getting errors. What kind of errors are you getting? Please tell me. Because check here. Check your code. If there is some typo mistake or some values or our data types are not passed properly, check here. And I will pass on the PDF and the image of this script so that you can directly check on your computer if there is some typo mistake, clear it out. And also I will also put the image of this hierarchy. I think this is glitch in the voice. Yes, there is an interference now. Wait for a sec. Is my voice clear now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the resources will be provided to you. The links for the form will also be provided to you in half an hour or something. PR team will provide it to you. I will also provide you with the zip file of this project, that actual game that we are going to create. Let me show you the game that we are going to create. 1 second. Start entire screen, share. See, 1 second, let my screen be presented to you. Is my screen present? Visible? Okay. See, when you export your project, When you download those templates, you can you will have the features to export your project, and it will be exported in this way: .exe and also pkc file, pck file. This pck file is created by Windows for you, and it consists of zip version, क्या बोलते हैं ना, compressed versions of your sources. All the sources, all the sprites, music, or everything you will use will be stored here. And don't never delete this file. If you delete this file, this will not work. Okay, let's click on .exe so you can see the game. It will start in a second. It start. It is started. I think it is visible to you. There would be some lag and glitch because of the network, but actually it is working smoothly. And if you want to try this game on your computer, I will provide the link so that you can directly try it without without having this lag because of the network. And I can also switch my gun. See, if I go to my gun and press my E key, the gun has been switched, and I can use this heavy damage gun. Does the damage of 50, and this damage is also popped when you shoot to the enemy. See, the damage has been popped. It will take some time to reach over here because currently we are just on basics, and this requires some level of programming knowledge because there are some features and functions that require some time, and I think the player script is around 70 lines of code, but no worries, we will reach there soon, and I hope you will join us. Please share the form. Yes, after the session is completed. So let's wrap it up. Thank you all for having patience during the stream and also attending this session, and once again, see you in the next session. Okay, bye. No problem, no problem.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Sir, please share the game first. I want to try.
Yes. I'm just creating a zip file and I'm uploading it. Just a minute.
Okay, sir.
हाँ. Welcome to you all.